As if the monstrous Chaos Space Marine ascended to demonhood weren't enough, it seems that the Daemon Prince has now found itself a gun. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, where today I thought we'd talk about the new Daemon Prince kit, and perhaps most particularly focus on the new rules that it's getting for its ranged weapon. So first up, 40k finally has a new Daemon Prince kit that's completely on sale independently. This great big mortal ascended to demonhood has been available on the Games Workshop web store for a couple of weeks now. It was previewed an awful long time back, I think it was around about May of last year, but then following that it took quite a long time to come out. I think it only came out alongside the Age of Sigmar Slaves to Darkness box sets, and even then it was restricted to their Battle Force box, as opposed to actually being on sale independently. I feel like as kits go, it was a fairly well anticipated one. Demon Princes aren't just relevant to one army in Warhammer 40k, it'll be the same kit that represents the ones from Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Demons, Death Guard, and Thousand Sons. And I feel like the kit is quite a nice update on the previous one, which I did think looked maybe just a little bit on the cartoony side. I feel like this guy's got some better proportions and a whole ton more options. Unfortunately, when the kit is released, it does seem to be really quite an expensive one. £47.50, €62.50, or $80 from Games Workshop directly. Not amazing on the points per dollar front, but not as bad as some of 40k gets. And in general, the reaction to the kit release was that it feels like quite an expensive kit by Games Workshop standards, maybe slightly paying the character tax that they often put to inflate character values over how much you'd expect for the plastic. Kind of a shame that it does cost this much, but in general I would say that objectively the miniature is quite a nice one. Compared with other Games Workshop's offerings or the previous one, there's a whole ton more flexibility, a whole bunch of different heads, including one unique one for each of the Chaos Gods, which I think is quite a nice touch, and then the usual weapon options that you'd expect for it, the great big axe, the wings, the Hellforged sword, and the talons, and most importantly for this video, a shiny new gun. If you were looking to pick one of these up in the UK, Element Games does have them at a slight discount over Games Workshop. Feel free to check out the link in the video description, as they get them for around about £40 rather than £47. It is an affiliate link that helps keep the videos on this channel coming, and it doesn't cost any more if you buy things from it. Overall though, I'd rate it as a nice model, perhaps at not the most helpful price ever, and usually tends to be at least fairly useful for the different factions, perhaps strongest in Chaos Space Marines where they've got a ton of interesting fighty options, including that rather murderous Golax Nurgle demon weapon, the one that auto-wounds and ignores some damage mitigation rules. Today though I thought we'd focus on the Warp Bolter type weapon. It's quite fun to see this return on the new kit, as it's basically a reimagination of this classic miniature with the gun built into its left arm. In fact, I feel like that pose and styling on the new miniature really is just trying to update this sculpt into a more current 40k kit. This was the model prior to the previous Daemon Prince model. I remember when this thing was made of metal. I seem to remember that one of the old Chaos Codexes had a weapon profile for a Kai gun, a ranged weapon produced by a doomed Forge world that fired bolts of pure hate and malice, and in 8th edition they also gave some updated rules for this part. They called it a Warp Bolter, 2 shots at strength 4, AP-1 and damage 2, though it does seem that the new version of this is going to be a fair bit stronger, as you might expect with 9th edition. With the rules for this new gun, it's listed in the profile in the box for the new Daemon Prince. We seem to be going to the time-honoured tradition of Games Workshop shipping their rules in the individual miniature boxes before releasing them in codexes and things. The vast majority of the profile for this Daemon Prince is the same as Codex Chaos Space Marines, so it doesn't look like we're going to be getting any enormous shake-up to the Daemon Prince profile anytime soon, and the other weapons are pretty much the same. It's just this Warp Bolter that seems to definitely have a profile, though I guess they might update the name for it. The Daemon Prince gun looks like it gets a 24-inch range, 3 shots with a heavy profile. That's what that symbol represents for other datasheets when they've released these teaser rules, at strength 5, AP-2 and damage 2. Overall I'd rate that as really quite a solid profile for a fighting melee character just to have as a sidearm, and it's usually going to be hitting on a 2+ with a Daemon Prince. He's a monster, so they get to ignore the move and shoot with heavy weapons penalty. In fact, as a monster, he's even going to be able to fire it in combat as well if he gets locked up there and has the opportunity to shoot. He will be hitting on a 3+, seeing as that's heavy, but it is quite intimidating to think that a Daemon Prince could potentially both smite you and shoot you, maybe even giving it a chance of clearing the enemies that it's in combat with, and then actually being free to charge something else in the charge phase. 9th edition really does seem to be embracing the maxim of free war gear quite a lot at the moment, and it seems that this would actually be a free trade out for one of the Malefic Talons. We can see this by the leaked points cost on the World Eater's Daemon Prince that we got for the new codex. That thing's 130 points base and an extra 35 points for the wings, There's no war gear cost included for the great big axe or sword, and also none for the warp bolter, and it looks like the warp bolter is carried in the offhand that doesn't have an axe or sword in it, so you're not going to be trading out for that. Unless you just get it completely for free, which would make it an auto-include, I would guess that you'd be weighing up either taking this or a Malefic Talon. I guess it is possible that you might get both though. If it is a choice though, then I still think it's an auto-include. The Malefic Talon would basically get you an extra strength user, AP -1 and damage 2 attack, and you get that on top of whatever you had with your other weapon, presumably the sword or axe. I think you usually want those because of the massive damage 3 and good AP. If the choice is just between that one extra attack in melee or the shooting attack at the above profile, I'd absolutely take the shooting attack. It's just overall better damage in whatever form it came, but if you had 2 attacks at shooting and melee anyway, you'd usually want to take the shooting one, all things being equal, as he gets to inflict this on his enemies without the risk of them fighting back. Kind of interesting to think that you could be blazing away with this while the Daemon Prince is hidden in the ranks as well. A pretty reasonable chance of bumping off something like a Space Marine each turn. Overall seems a clear win for the gun, and I suspect that in Codex World Eaters, if the Daemon Prince does look like it's an efficient choice, then I would expect them to come packing this sidearm. It's perhaps a little bit less clear as to whether the other Chaos Codexes will get these rules anytime soon though. Just because they're packaged in the box with the datasheet doesn't actually mean that it's game legal. Games Workshop would have to issue an FAQ or datasheet update if they wanted every army to be able to field this in game, and it would be a fairly big job as I think they'd have to reissue a datasheet for Chaos Marines, Thousand Sons, Death Guard, and Chaos Demons. I'm not sure if they're going to do that initially. The model is on full sale at the moment from Games Workshop, and so far they don't appear to have done it yet. It is kind of interesting that in their initial teaser article for the Daemon Prince, they did say that it would be getting a new datasheet update. The exact text that they used was, of course, this battlefield behemoth will have a datasheet to match his prowess. We aren't ready for a full reveal of that just yet, but you can bet it'll be a match for the best that the Darker Millennium has to offer. Admittedly, that was written in May 2022, and while the Daemon Prince did get a small stats tune-up in Codex Chaos Space Marines and Demons, for some reason they didn't have any rules for the Bolter, despite knowing that a new model was on the way. I feel like it will be a bit weird if the World Eaters wind up having the Daemon Prince that's the best at shooting, but it seems like it could be that way for a little while. I guess perhaps the time to look for an updated datasheet might be at the same time as Codex World Eaters drops, if they want to. Otherwise, it looks like this thing might not actually manifest until 10th edition for things like Thousand Sons or standard Chaos Marines. Overall though, for any Daemon Princes that do get this update, seems like a pretty decent upgrade on the standard model. I certainly want to run this if the choice was between a Malefic Talon and they were both free, but let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video and you'd like to keep up with Games Workshop's news and updates, feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics. I'll try and cover the new game rules and releases whenever we have more news. Finally, if you have been enjoying all the news and updates on the channel, I would just like to mention that Auspex Tactics does have a Patreon page as well, and you can find that linked down in the video description below. Channel patrons do get a fair few advantages, seeing certain videos early, regular votes to see what sort of things come next on the channel, and automatic entry into the regular prize giveaways with a chance to win some really big model kits each month. If any of that sounds good to you, or you'd just like to help support, the link is down in the video description. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.